In the heart of Indonesia's lush countryside, where the morning sun kissed the horizon, a group of rubber tappers stirred to life. Their weary bodies ached, but they were men bound by duty, driven by necessity. Their livelihood depended on the latex that bled from the trunks of ancient rubber trees. And so, with knives in hand and buckets at their side, they embarked on a journey to seek their meager fortunes. In the shadow of the towering rubber trees, they toiled, guided by tradition and whispered wisdom passed down through generations. Their hands moved with practiced precision, their eyes scanning the trees for signs of prosperity. Each incision they made upon the bark carried the weight of their hopes and dreams, their hopes for a better life, a better tomorrow for their loved ones. The farmers' faces bore the marks of resilience, etched by the relentless sun and the burden of their labor. As they made their way through the rubber plantation, their footsteps whispered stories of perseverance and hardship. They knew the trials of their trade, the ebb and flow of rubber prices, yet their spirit remained unyielding. Amidst the emerald splendor of Sumatra's lush landscapes, there lay a village veiled in hardship. Here, a fraternity of rubber farmers struggled to eke out their existence from the earth's yielding bosom. They were bound by their toil, their destinies entwined with the rise and fall of the rubber trees, their lives subsisting upon the sap that flowed like tears from the wounded bark. In a humble abode, Dede Irama, his hands calloused from tireless labor, recounted the trials that beset them. With a sorrowful gaze, he spoke of the labyrinthine web spun by the Tengkulak, those crafty intermediaries who wove threads of exploitation between the farmers and the rubber companies. Selling rubber is a weekly struggle, Dede murmured, the weight of generations of injustice pressing upon his shoulders. Each passing day, Shukandi, a young tapper, traversed the muddy paths, guided only by the whispers of the rubber trees. At a tender age, he had joined the fraternity, learning the dance of tapping from his father. Why did I choose this life? He pondered, his voice tinged with resignation. It provides enough to eat, but more is a distant dream. Across the village, Amar, another rubber farmer, bore witness to the relentless oscillation of rubber prices. It is as if the market dances to its own discordant tune, he sighed. One week we may revel in a meager rise, but the next, the fall is swift and steep. Among them, Gilbert, with lines of wisdom on his brow, shared tales of past days when rubber fetched a higher price. He reminisced about the time when the tree's milk flowed freely, a testament to the land's bountiful generosity. But now, with furrowed brows, he spoke of more modest times, where the fruit of their labor brought a meager sum. Still, his eyes glistened with gratitude, for even amid lean days, they were blessed to have something to call their own. In the background, the melodies of the rainforest sang an ode to their efforts, a symphony of life intertwining with their struggles. The vibrant greens surrounding them told tales of prosperity and decay, echoing the cyclical nature of their own lives. As they continued their task, each tap of the knife echoed a resolute commitment to their family's well-being. They knew that every drop of latex collected today would be transformed into rice on their tables, clothes on their backs, and dreams for their children. Amid the sweat and toil, the farmers found solace in the unity they shared. They were more than co-workers. They were a brotherhood, bound together by the ties of the earth they cultivated and the trials they faced. Though their journey was tough, and prices were no longer what they once were, they found a profound dignity in their labor. In the face of adversity, they remained unbroken, a testament to the indomitable spirit of the human soul. And so, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue upon the rubber plantation, the farmers made their way back home, their buckets filled with the precious nectar of the trees and their hearts brimming with hope. In the shadows of dusk, they returned to their families, the light of love in their eyes, a beacon of unwavering strength and devotion. And as they settled beneath the night sky, their laughter and stories echoed in the embrace of the land that had nurtured them. For the rubber tappers, the struggle was not just a means to make a living, but a testament to the human spirit's endurance in the face of nature's capricious whims. In their humble pursuit, they embodied the essence of life: perseverance, unity, and a deep-rooted connection to the land that sustained them. In the evenings, when the sun dipped beneath the horizon, these men gathered under the ancient banyan tree, their minds like vessels overflowing with concerns. There, in the company of shadows and stars, they found solace and strength in one another's stories. Stories of days when rubber fetched fair prices, when the earth bore bountiful harvests, and when hope danced with promise. Their hopes were stitched together like patchwork on the fabric of destiny. They yearned for a day when the dignified labor of their hands would be met with just rewards. They dreamed of a world where the fruits of their toil would be valued with fairness, not dictated by the whims of faraway markets. Yet, they knew their voices were mere whispers carried away by the winds of indifference. In their hearts, though, they carried a flicker of resilience, the ember of change, for they were the custodians of the rubber forests, guardians of the land they called home. The plight of these unsung heroes, their struggle ceased to be a secret buried in the folds of the earth. The camera lens captured the silent battles fought in the shadows of the rubber trees. The tale echoed across the nation, reaching the ears of those who held the power to ignite change. The destiny of the rubber farmers was but a chapter in the larger narrative of a nation's conscience. The call to action echoed through the corridors of power, stirring the hearts of leaders who held the pen that could rewrite the story. For the farmers, hope no longer danced at a distance. It emerged as a beacon, a flickering flame that illuminated their path forward. They knew the road would be arduous, but they were fortified by the conviction that change was possible. And so, beneath the banyan tree, they gathered once more, the fires of determination burning bright in their eyes. They had found their voice, their unity lending strength to their plea. Together, they stepped into the unknown, marching toward a future where the fruits of their labor would be cherished and honored. As the sun set over the village of Desa Kesiraja, a new chapter began to unfurl. The tale of the rubber tappers was inscribed in the annals of history, where resilience and hope coalesced to paint a vivid portrait of courage in the face of adversity. In the spirit of unity, they embarked on a journey to reclaim their dignity, to forge a path toward a fairer tomorrow, where the labor of their hands would finally be met with the just reward they so rightfully deserved.